Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So in this video we're going to talk about how traditional media is losing their fight with the newly found digital media. Let's break it down. What's going on everyone? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're all safe. We're currently on our third week of lockdown in the UK. Sunshine is brilliant out there. It's 20 degrees today. In this video, I want to talk about how traditional media is losing their battle with the newly found digital media, such as influencers, YouTubers, and everyone that's had their start online, basically. And when I say traditional media, I mean big TV stations, newspapers, radio stations, etc., etc. The more traditional mainstream media. And for this phenomenon, I mainly have 3 points, and that's power, influence, and money. So the first point for that is power, and when I say power, I mean these old media, the traditional media, these TV channels, these newspapers, radio stations, they used to have a lot of power in my parents' generation or my grandparents' generation, and we see that in the younger generations, that me or even younger than me, like the TV and the newspaper and the radio stations, are slowly dying, and that is a big problem for them, because they don't have the power anymore. So they don't have the power to do anything. They used to have power. When a TV station says something, they have the power to influence a lot of people and to change a lot of minds. And you couldn't break into a TV station or a newspaper or a radio station, even if you had the talent, because you have to go through all of the filters in order for you to break, to make a name for yourself or to have a career, or any of that. And for years, the TV stations, for example, have had so much power over other corporations, over even governments, because without making this too political, every party has their own, TV station or their own like newspaper that they work with, and obviously, if you watch a certain TV presenter or a certain TV channel or a certain TV show, and you see that they talk about a certain party, and then they say, oh, they're doing well, good things, and then you that are watching that party, that you're gonna think, yes, maybe that's a good thing as well. So that's a lot of power to have over someone and to have over a generation. And younger people don't see that anymore, as I said, in my age or even younger, because they're not relatable anymore. You see billionaires, and you see, all these people, they hang out together, like, the big CEOs and the TV station CEOs and the newspapers guys and the radio guys, they all hang out together, billionaires. And when a young person sees that, it's less likely to relate to that, and rather than a social media influencer like an Instagram influencer or a YouTuber or any of that. And that leads me to the second point, which is, of course, influence. And these types of media have lost their influence. They used to be able to influence elections, they used to be able to influence mindsets, they used to be able to influence opinions, and they cannot do that anymore. They still can, but not at that extent, as a lot of young people are moving or have already moved to YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or social media or anything. And the companies are also realizing that, a lot of companies, and digital marketing is also a huge thing now. And a lot of companies will not spend their money on traditional TV, because all the younger audiences have slowly moved away from TV. For example, I don't watch TV anymore. From apart from the TV shows, I don't watch reality TV shows, and I know a lot of people that they will not watch reality TV shows. So again, a lot of young people will rather watch some influencer at their own age, and if they have something to say, than an old guy on the morning show. And the third and the most important point for me is money and earnings. These huge corporations are losing a lot of money to people like PewDiePie and the A3 podcast, or any influencer out there that has more views than them, more influence than them, bigger numbers than them. I touched on this on my Lazy Podcast episode 2. By the way, if you haven't seen it, there's going to be a link somewhere up here. Like the night shows, the late shows, they are doing their own YouTube shows now because of lockdown, but they've always uploaded clips, and they're striving to go, build a fan base on YouTube. And like you see people like PewDiePie. I'm only mentioning PewDiePie because he's the biggest on the platform and everyone knows him, and the traditional media has like always fought against him. He is pulling bigger numbers than traditional TV shows. He's pulling bigger numbers than newspapers, the Independent, or the, I don't know, Washington Post or BBC or whatever you want to, any traditional media. And he is a threat. Any influencer, anyone who's self-made is a threat to these kind of corporations, because in this day and age you don't have to be a journalist. As long as you have a camera, you can record yourself and put it out there and anyone can watch it. Whilst a few years ago, if you wanted your voice heard, you either had to go to a TV station or you had to go to a newspaper or a radio show or something like that, which now is not necessary. And a lot of people are moving away from those traditional medias for their information, for their everything, basically. That's why you see so many newspapers making so many articles about YouTubers, and so many articles about like 18-year-old influencers, and you see platforms like Vice or anything. If you're not a journalist, and if you're not working for a certain TV station, and you're not looking out for your own self-interests, which these companies have done for years and for generations, like they have influenced elections, they have influenced mindsets, they influenced so many things that have happened to the world, only looking out by their own self-interests and them becoming billionaires. And that's why I am happy that the traditional media is dying. And I'm happy that self-made people like PewDiePie and the H3 podcast and Philip DeFranco and anyone you can think of is building their own livelihood and their own career on their own terms, without having to go through some shitty CEO old guy like the Fox guy who molested so many women and sexually assaulted so many women, and all those kinds of people like Harvey Weinstein that for years have done whatever they wanted. And the traditional media, because they had their own interests, they never said anything about it. And this is like a huge topic that, it's a huge topic that we could talk about for hours, but that's how I feel it, and that's how a lot of people feel it. Like, their time is over. Their time of influencing and making decisions for other people is over, and I'm fucking glad. So this is it for me, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Please, let's have a conversation. I am expecting, this is a very controversial topic, but I wanted to make this video because I can see, especially now with quarantine, I can see a lot of traditional, like Jimmy Kimmel and those types of people trying to move to YouTube and acting like, oh, we're all part of the same. And then we had the Imagine video by billionaires in their mansions, and that shit just completely pisses me off. And I hate it when people like that act like they are the same as normal people like us, and it's just really, really annoying. And I am so glad that traditional media is dying. I'm glad that TV is dying. I'm glad that the traditional huge newspapers which have only looked out for themselves for generations, and their CEOs and super rich guys, I'm glad that they're not on the future. I'm glad that they're not part of our future. And Yes, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you already haven't. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. This is a very, very interesting and controversial topic for me. So comment down below if you want to have a conversation. And again, thank you very much for watching. I will see you